Hey, you're listening to the Smoke Meat Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Pittman. Today, my guest is Mr. Darius Slaughter, the author of Hostel, An Urban Tragedy. Great book. Darius is such a great guy. He has been there and done that, and he tells about it in his book, and he cuts no bones, glamorizes nothing, just gives an honest account of what life has been like for him. Man, he is such an awesome guy. We had a great time talking. So I'm going to stop talking now, and we're going to get on with this beast here on Smoked Meat. Hey, so how you doing today, Darius?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Man, any better, I'd be twins. Oh,
Man,
yeah.
you stole my line.
Oh, yeah. Man, I tell you, I've been looking forward to this, since I got my email. I'm like, I gotta check this cat out. And, what I've seen, pretty good. And you seem like a pretty good guy. So I'm digging that. We talked a little bit before this, and, I don't want to put your business out there, but you got a place in my heart, brother. You
I
do.
appreciate you, brother.
You
I
do.
appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So we'll jump right off into this thing. Like I say, I like to talk about what we got to talk about, and it just kind of steers itself. I know you just got your book out, Hostel, and I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm waiting on my copy now, and
Hey,
yeah, tell my folks a little bit about you and a little bit about your book and all, man.
48 years old, pretty much went through life and made all the wrong decisions and kind of found my way back to the right track. Took the long way, the rough road, the hard road, and just trying to kind of reach back out and help some of these kids let my mistakes be their mistakes and make better decisions out here because there's a lot of them running blind right now, running
Yeah,
face first into the wall and not really understanding how life works.
yeah,
I'm a Midwest born, Indiana born, raised down south in Houston. And did a lot of traveling, on the ferry side when I was
mm-hmm,
younger, seen a lot of things and ended up catching a big knock and had a lot of memories that were almost unbelievable,
mm-hmm.
even though I lived it. So when I signed for my time and went to the county, I just started to write it down and send it home. Send it home chapter by chapter, hidden in letters, because out here they read your mail.
Yeah,
They'll try and indict you and all that. So I had to hide it in letters. So I sent the whole book home, all 44, 45 chapters, one at a time, hidden in letters.
man, man.
Yeah, came home after 4 years. God bless, safe and sound, 10 fingers, 10 toes, and whole. And my little brother had all the letters in a binder and said, here's your book right there. What you going to do with
Mm-hmm.
it?
Man, I tell you, it's funny. Kids, I remember being young and making stupid decisions. We all did, and
Definitely.
we at least had a little bit of guidance as far as okay, from TV and movies and that kind of stuff. Because I'm 49. We're right here on the same age. We could have went to high school together,
Right.
and all of it wasn't always, you know, showing the good side of everything all the time. Nowadays, these kids, I feel old now because I'm saying nowadays these kids, but now they see all this stuff happening and they don't see consequences, and that I think that leads them to make these bad decisions, thinking ain't nothing gonna happen to them, and it's gonna happen.
It's definitely going to happen. There's a lack of guidance as far as a lot of them. The home site is not what it was. When we grew up, we had the whole neighborhood watching us.
Yeah.
No matter what happened, you had your parents, your grandparents, the neighbor could beat your butt. You go home and get beat again.
Mm-hmm.
The old lady around the corner catch you doing something, she beats you, you go home again. Well, now most parents can't even touch their kids. So scared CPS is gonna come.
Yeah.
And then you have kids raising kids. Mom is mom is 20, 21. Grandma might be 40.
Yeah.
Grandma's still out spinning her wheels in the club. So there's no basis. When we were young, my grandma was the rock.
Yeah.
She was the foundation of the family.
Yeah.
You go to grandma's house on your P's and Q's. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Don't walk off the carpet. Don't
Mm-hmm.
walk off the little plastic stuff in the living room on the way in. Sit down. Now grandma is just as wild as the daughter.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids don't know one or two of their parents, don't know, their dad. His dad is around and he's busy and And then on top of that, they're getting inundated by social media, TV, movies, video games. Video games are 1,000 times more violent than they were when we were young.
Oh man, you ain't
And
kidding.
they live in the screen, so they're desensitized to violence.
Yeah,
Because all they do is play video games and shoot everything and kill everything. And then when they get out in the world and pick up a real gun, they think there's a rewind button or a reset.
yeah,
They don't realize that's a real weapon. You pull that trigger and you knock somebody down, you can't hit a button. They don't get back up and start over.
yeah. They through. And you know, I've seen
Yeah,
that so many times, and it's ugly.
yeah. And they don't have anybody to train them or teach them better.
Yeah,
You know, we grew up, I remember, even they say it takes a village to raise a child, but what happens when the village is AWOL? Who's raising the child?
yeah,
Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, all these TV shows that are out now, and they all reward bad behavior. Real World, all these warrior TV shows, Real World, The Bachelor, Bad Girls Club, they all reward bad behavior. So the worse you act, the more money we pay you. And you had a whole country watching. So you have a whole generation of young ladies that are watching TV thinking, hey, it's good to be a slut.
yeah,
If I'm a slut, I can get whatever I want. I don't need to go to school. I don't need to read. I don't need to go to college. I can just act like a slut and I get $1 million. I can go on TV.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. You know, and I've got two girls. You know, one's 20 and one's 19 or 17, about to be 18. And man, I tell you, I worry about them every day. You know, they're good girls, and I like to think we raised them right. But you know, the world is the world, and it'll take anybody.
The world is the world, and it's scary,
Yeah,
especially for kids.
yeah, and you know, I see it once again all the time. You know, I see these young girls who are getting pregnant, and you know, they've already got one or two kids, and nobody in the house has the same last name. Nobody in the house
Nope.
works. And
Nope.
it's just a cycle, just keeps going and going and going and going. I know generations of families who, you know, in the same house that have never worked, that have always, you know, had disability or whatnot from a young age. And
As do I.
yeah, and it drives me crazy. You know, I had somebody say, well, I had a seizure a couple years ago, so I'm on disability now. I told him, I said, man, don't let seizures put you on that. I said, you need to go out and find you these people that work every day, harder than I ever thought of working, who have them. You just need to get your medicine and control these things. And they didn't want to hear that.
But you know what? There's a comfort level.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get into that rut and do what everybody else does. It takes a certain level of courage, determination, and dedication to break that cycle.
Yeah.
And most of them don't have it.
Yeah.
It's just not bred into them. You know, the biggest thing I tell a lot of these people, the saving grace of these younger generations right now is sports.
Yeah.
And they're trying to ruin that with participation trophies and, we're just going to give them all trophies because they play. No, because you need to know that it hurts to lose.
Exactly.
You need to know what it is to lose so that you'll hurt and strive to win. So you can learn the consequences and repercussions to falling short. And that's not a bad thing. You have to have balance in everything.
Yeah. I mean, you know, everybody thinks that, you know, like I said, the participation trophies are good. I remember when I was a kid playing ball, man, if our team sucked, we didn't get nothing. We didn't even get to keep our uniforms at the end of the year. And you see these other kids got this giant trophy, tall as they are, because they won. They earned it.
Exactly. I was blessed. I never played on a losing team.
Man, I played on every one of them.
School all the way through high school. But I tell you what, to lose a game, I was the one didn't want to talk, didn't want to eat, leave me alone, get away from me. We lost.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't your fault you played great? I don't care. We lost. The scoreboard said we lost.
Yep.
So you're going to the party? No, I'm going home. We lost.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how they used to put the kids who couldn't catch and all that over in right field? Well,
Right.
You know how they got that one team that you guaranteed that if you just show up with 9 players, you got that win? I played right field on that team.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah. I ain't never been an athlete.
Man, I was athletic, but I was always big. I was the big kid. I got fat in 3rd grade.
Uh-huh.
Got man titties, and it was over. I went from halfback to nose tackle in one summer.
Damn.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I was a little skinny dude up until I hit puberty. And, man, you could just about hear me get big. In high school, I was 6 foot and 250. I mean, just boom.
Man, I remember I hit 200 in middle school. By the
Yeah.
time I hit high school, I went to a football school. You know, Texas and football go hand in hand.
Oh, hell
All we
yeah.
did was lift weights. We started that in middle school.
Yeah.
You know, iron was a part of the registered diet in middle school out here.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a 5A school. It was over.
Oh, man.
Weight room was called the cage. That's all we did was work out and eat.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
was understood.
Yeah, I watched the
But
show.
you know what? But that discipline, they had a sign on the wall at my high school when you walked out of the locker room. And it didn't dawn on me till years and years later how profound the saying was. And the saying was really simple. It said, lead, follow, or get out of the way.
Yep.
Super simple. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. And the problem right now is you have a lot of people out here that really don't want to lead but want to shoot holes in everything. Mm-hmm. They don't want to follow because they think they know everything. And they always got their ass in the way.
Always. And it's funny, you know, if you do jump up and lead, and when you start to succeed, there's always those people who want to jump in with you then. They don't want to be in with you when you fighting and struggling to get up to the top. When you hit the top, everybody wants a piece.
Oh, that's always. It's the same thing with the book. You know, the first time I released the book, I got blackballed. I was on parole, actually. And I got blackballed. They tried to revoke me. I got put on the banned book list. I was taking 4 random UAs a week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do I randomly come up 4 times a week all of a sudden? But I don't do drugs. So it was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I only got a few months left. Whatever. Went down. So sidelined it for several years. Put the project back out, and everybody thinks I'm crazy. So this time, you know, got lucky, hooked into a publicist, found a mentor, kind of started figuring out kind of how to get in the game because the book business is very, very stingy.
Yeah.
It's very locked down. It's hard to get into. And normally, a first-time author makes 3 pennies a book when they sell a book because they'll get a little advanced and they sign the paperwork and they hit them in the head for every little thing. So on the recoup, they get hammered. So they make 3 cents a book.
Mm-hmm.
And then they want to edit the content and, oh, you got to take this out. We don't think you should say this and that. Well, my story is adamant. You know, it's a testimony. It's for people that really think it's, number one, for people who wonder why people go out here and commit crimes or live a street life who don't understand. It's an intelligent look at my decisions, my motivations to make those decisions, and most importantly, the consequences and repercussions of those decisions. Mm-hmm. It's an honest look at the game. So it's not a glorification and it's not a knock. Was I sleeping with runway models? Yes. Was my partner getting 20 years and telling me, hey, watch out for my daughter because she'll be out of college when I get home? Yes. So those are the parts that people leave out. They leave out the part where I got to search a city of 4 million people to find this guy's baby mother because she stopped answering the phone and nobody can talk to his kids. He's wondering if his kids are okay, and he's locked up in California.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, hey, bro, I need to pay. What's up? Find my kids. What? Yeah, my baby mom disappeared. Nobody's seen or talked to my kids in 2 months. I need you to find my kids. So, literally, I had to put the feelers out, and we hunt the whole city of 4 million people to find this dude's baby mom and his kids.
Yeah, and that's not something you can say no to. Because, yeah, he may be locked up, but you got to sleep with yourself at night knowing, hey, I told this cat, no, you can't do that.
Exactly. And that's a scary feeling for him as a father to be locked up and not know where his kids are.
Yeah.
For months.
Mm. Man, I couldn't imagine.
They don't talk about that. They don't talk about, when you get in here and everything, you do all this stuff to impress these females or vice versa, and then you get locked down and nobody knows you.
Yeah.
All the people you try to impress go on with their life. You might be the topic of conversation. Now, you remember so-and-so? Yeah, he was cool. Yeah, what happened? Oh, he got locked up. Oh, that's messed up. And they keep moving. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you did all this to impress John Doe and Jane Doe, and now you're sitting in the Bing, you're sitting in lockup starving. And in Texas, you're going to work. They're going to have you in the fields, picking cotton, picking potatoes. Oh, yeah, you're going to get your paper, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a dose.
So you're going to earn everything.
I'll never work. I'll never work at Burger King, man. I'll never work at Popeyes. Well, you're going to pick cotton. Because the dude behind you is sitting on a horse with a 357 Magnum. And he said pick cotton.
Yeah.
So handle that, buddy. You gonna pick potatoes? You ever seen some? You ever seen somebody cut grass with a hoe
Yeah,
with
I've
an
done
Aggie?
that.
Yeah. So when you see these dudes cutting acres of grass with this Aggie, looking like the movie Life,
Yeah.
yeah, that's still a real thing down south, buddy.
Yeah.
Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana,
I'm sitting here in
cutting
Georgia,
down
brother.
ditches. Yeah, there you go. Down ditches, in the ditches, over water moccasins, alligators, whatever pops up, you better hit it because you can't get out of that line.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
Yep. I ain't done acres with a
But
sling blade before, but I've done it with one, and I didn't dig it.
yeah, buddy. I, I was in another sector. I used to get in trouble for fighting. They tell me to knock all the daisies out of a 2-acre pasture with
Oh,
one.
damn. And anybody that don't
Yeah,
know,
buddy, you
there's a
talking about
shit ton of
blisters.
daisies in 2 acres. Because where one grows,
Boy,
thousands grow.
I'm trying to tell you, even the horse is looking at me stupid. What is
Man.
this dummy doing? Leave me alone. But yeah, it's a different world. And the thing is, if you talk to these kids and you pull up any of these video games, Call of Duty, any of these video games, they know all the cheat codes, they know all the rules.
Mm-hmm.
But they get out here in these streets and they don't understand the rules of engagement. And they put themselves in jeopardy. And down here in the state of Texas, they'll lock you up at 12 and hold you till you're 24, 25.
Mm-hmm.
They'll run you through youth, certify you as an adult, and transfer you. Good luck. See you in your 30s.
Damn. And you know,
Yeah, they don't care. So by the time these kids get out, they're institutionalized. They don't even know how to live in the world.
yeah. You know, it's funny, all these kids see the movies and TV shows about, folks being in prison and all, and they think they've got a lock on it. You know,
No.
I worked in a county jail for a little while, just part-time. And, man, just what I saw in there was, they ain't got a clue.
No, they don't. They really
No.
don't. And that's why, I came up in the era where there was a code. If you're out here and you're in this life, you were probably told by multiple people not to be out here.
Yeah.
Go get a job, go to school, get away from this. This is not for you. This is not for everybody. And judging by how you move, you're not built for this. Go get a job. And they would see things that would deter them, and then the older people would tell them, hey, this is not for you. Move around. It takes a certain mentality, a certain level of action, a certain level of violence at some points to be able to survive even in the streets once that's in the penitentiary and it's condemned because there's no guns in prison.
Yeah.
There's no guns. A lot of these people out here now are brave because they have firearms. The game changed with firearms and cell phones when you could hide in the house and sell drugs and do whatever you were doing, and everybody had a gun, and it was, the threat of the gun, and everybody had a gun, you could hide in the house. But when you get in the penitentiary, everything is condemned. Everybody's living on top of each other. There's no guns. It's right here, right now. And you have people that walk by you and try to kill you for no reason whatsoever. Just because they woke up that morning and they felt like fighting. And they're not fighting just to fight. They're fighting just because they're really trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. And you actively put yourself in this position knowing that this is not your gear. This is not how you're built. You have to be honest with yourself at a point and say, what do I want out of my life? What can I achieve? What am I able to achieve? Like you said earlier, you can sleep on your feet 5 minutes and be awake for 2 days. Some of us are built like that. So a lot of people aren't.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have to have that 10 hours of sleep. I have people tell me all the time, how do you run on that little bit of sleep? Because, first of all, because it's necessary. Second of all, because I'm used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, these kids think today, they can get out there and be Mr. Badass. They don't understand, on the streets anywhere, I could be talking to you and I could say something that I feel like it's a joke or I don't think nothing of. And in your mind, I've just hit you harder than anybody ever has, and that ain't happening. And shit can get you killed just asking a question the wrong way.
Yep, the rules of engagement.
People
they don't pay attention.
Yeah. I had a patient years ago that he always wore a certain color and he always did things a specific way. And he was a regular of ours. He was a sick fella. And I asked him one day, we had made friends And I said, I don't mean any disrespect by what I'm about to ask. Please don't take it that way. I said, I notice how you dress and everything. He said, I know what you're going to ask, and you went about it the right way. He said, out of respect for you and our friendship, I won't answer it, which he answered it by saying that. And he said, had you not asked it that way, there would have been a big mark on you in this ambulance. He said, so thank you for doing it the way you did. And we never spoke about it again, but, that taught me right then, you got to be careful.
You do. And you never know who you're talking to or who you're moving around.
Exactly.
And then this human trafficking thing, they're snatching people from cafes. They're snatching people everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the scariest thing. Now, watching these little girls and some of these young men, they're so reckless and so lost and so caught up in these cell phones and social media that they move reckless and they're prey.
Yeah.
If you watch some of these videos, how brazen these guys are, it's almost amazing that they would move to that level in broad daylight.
Yeah. And it's terrifying because, like I said, I've got two girls that, I may be biased because I'm their dad, but my girls are pretty girls. And, I've had to teach them, keep your head on a swivel. They know how to defend themselves and all that. But still, when they decide they want to go out to Target or Walmart or wherever, I worry because I'm a dad and I know the ugly side of this world. And
exactly.
People don't think that human trafficking is as big a deal as everybody says it is, but man, it's huge.
It's massive.
It's huge and it's nasty.
Massive. And that's only the ones they know about.
Yeah.
That's only the ones that they know about. There's probably twice as many out there as what they actually know about.
Yeah, and that's probably still a conservative number.
Yep.
And like I say,
and the crazy part is, the sad part is when you bring children into this world in this day and time, that, when we were young, we could run around and run all through the neighborhood and play and go to the corner store and, hey, Mom, I'm going over here. That you have to raise children now to be situationally aware. That you have to constantly be on guard. It's almost like it's stealing some of the innocence of youth now.
Yeah.
Because it's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I want to go somewhere. I just hop on my bike and go. Hell, we rode 2 miles to school in the mornings.
Exactly.
And didn't think nothing of it. You want to go somewhere, I'm going to go up the store, hop on the bike, I'm gone.
Exactly.
And now,
it was probably a 3-4 mile radius that I would run around and play in.
Yeah.
I could be anywhere in that radius. I tell Mom and Dad where I was going, but I'd be gone. Nobody worried.
Yeah. And now, hell, my kids, when they were smaller, if they wanted to, just ride their bike up the street, nope. Ain't happening. I'll go with you. Come on, let's go.
Exactly. Even in my grandma's neighborhood, inner city, urban, however you want to label it, even the quote unquote gangsters were so polite and so protective of the neighborhood when I was little.
Yeah.
To the point where they would park people. I'll never forget a guy, insurance man parked and came, knocked on my grandma's door. Hey, did you know the insurance man was coming today? Yeah, I knew he was coming. Well, he's parking right there. He'll be up here in just a minute. Anything strange in the neighborhood, anything out of line in the neighborhood, all that abducting kids and raping kids in the neighborhood, it didn't happen.
Mm-mm.
It was police within the neighborhood before the police ever got there.
Yeah.
Now.
And it was better police.
Crack kid and everybody turning to every man for himself and straight money, and everything went down the tube.
Yeah.
Dodge City.
Yeah. And I remember growing up, like I say, man, if everybody watched for each other. If my parents saw a car at the neighbor's house they didn't know, they're going to call that neighbor. And if they don't answer, they're going to call the cops on it because they ain't supposed to be there. And, that neighborhood, like you say, that police, before the police got there, they were actually better police than the police.
Exactly. And it was understood that if you want to do that, you don't come around here.
Yeah.
Whatever you have in mind, breaking the houses and stuff was almost unheard of at that point because, like you said, I see anything moving over there that looks funny, I'm going to either call or I'm going to walk over and find out.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing here?
Exactly.
But times change.
Yeah.
Times are definitely changing, and not necessarily for the better. It seems like the more technology we get, everybody thought we would get these major technology advances society would settle down and be a utopia, and it seems like it did the opposite.
Yeah, yeah, and that's one thing that I've watched as COVID set in. With the quarantines and people starting to get back out a little bit more. Being in the thick of it, I watched people start to care about each other again and start to watch out
Definitely.
for each other. And man, that did me so good during the weekend of all the riots. I know you saw in Atlanta on the news, Atlanta, big riots.
Definitely.
Them riots wasn't near what the news made them riots out to be.
Well,
My,
the news is always going to push everything up.
oh yeah, I work in a town two counties south of Atlanta. We're close enough where we're still considered Atlanta. That
Okay.
weekend, the sheriff's department actually gave us vests to wear because there was information that something was going to break off. Well, that Saturday, we got two groups who just thoroughly hate each other. They see each other in the street, they're going to be a fight, period. Less than a half mile from each other had block parties. Not a single problem. None. They interacted even. The next day,
Wow.
two planned demonstrations. Everybody said their piece. Everything was peaceful, no trouble at all. And my little town did me so proud like that. I'm like, this is what the news is showing. Why ain't they here showing this?
Because they always show negativity.
Yeah,
Um, a lot of what goes on right now is staged.
yeah,
If you look at what's pushed online and in TV shows, a lot of what is pushed on society and the community right now has been set up and pushed, and it's just further an agenda that's been around forever.
yeah,
You look at Black Wall Street when it got bombed. You go back and when crack entered the community, there were rappers talking about crack in the 70s. Crack didn't become epidemic until the 80s, until it moved into the suburbs.
yeah,
And then it was uncontrollable. My question has always been with the gangbanging thing in the inner city neighborhoods, and if the poverty line is so high and nobody has any money, where are they getting all these bullets at and all these guns?
exactly.
Because last I checked, and I live in Texas, there's a gun show every 2 weeks out here.
Yeah,
This is a pro-gun state.
yeah.
And my question is that bullets are expensive.
Dude,
What I hear,
bullets are
bullets
ridiculous
are
right
at
now.
a premium right now.
Yeah,
Guns are expensive. And I know when COVID hit, from what I heard from all the people at work, everybody made a run on guns because they thought it was going to be, another civil war and this, that, and the other. So how do they maintain all this ammunition?
yeah,
Just like when they had the protests here in Houston, there were piles of bricks that magically appeared on corners downtown overnight.
yeah. We had that here too, and
Yeah, piles of bricks.
I don't know if you've been
So
around
where
much
did these bricks
construction,
come
but we
from?
lock that shit up when we're getting ready to build something. We don't just set it on the corner.
Exactly. Piles of bricks in downtown Houston every 2 or 3 blocks.
Yeah,
How did these bricks get down here? Who
yeah.
brought these bricks down here? And what kind of vehicle did no police, no law enforcement agency notice anybody putting out piles of bricks down here?
Yeah, because that's not something you're doing by hand.
No.
And if
you're
you are, I'm
obviously
going
on
to let
high
you
alert
because
right
you're a
now.
big ass.
Exactly. And you're already on high alert because you're expecting riots, you're expecting this. This was after the George Floyd deal when they had the big protest with George Floyd.
Yeah.
So you're already on high alert expecting it to kick off. And you mean to tell me nobody knows a dump truck with a forklift riding around dropping off bricks?
Yeah, pretty much. And
That's
like I
the
said,
setup.
I saw those everywhere. And
Yeah, that's the setup.
yeah,
It's a setup. We're going to give you everything. What if Grandma used to say, I'll give you enough rope to hang yourself?
exactly.
So this time it was bricks. We'll give you enough bricks to hang yourself. Hopefully you do act dumb enough for the riot squad to kick in or the snipers to kick off.
Yeah. Yep. And I hate when people, did, I don't want to say when they protested because, I mean, hell, that's everybody's right. You got something to say, you need to bust out and say it. But when people start looting and everything, that's what bothers me. And it's
Why
just.
would you, and they loot, and generally they loot their own neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you burn your own neighborhood?
Exactly. You know what?
So
That
next
don't make
week,
sense.
when you get hungry, you have to go to the grocery store in the next county, you're going to be bitching and complaining the whole drive over there and the whole drive back.
Yep.
Stupid.
Yep. I don't know, man. I'm just ready for everybody to figure out that we all just everybody's the same. I know I don't look just
Exactly.
like you. You don't look just like me. But you know what? I've seen blood before of every race, every religion, every orientation. And if you put it in little cups right in front of me, I couldn't sit and tell you whose was whose because your blood looks exactly like mine does right now.
Exactly.
And I'm just ready for people to understand that we all the same. We all want the same things basically. We want our families to be safe. We want to feed them. We want them to be comfortable and just live our life.
Yep. I think a lot of people forget why America was founded in the first place.
Yeah.
The fact that a lot of people that were on those boats were already persecuted for race, religion, creed, whatever, jumped on the boat to come over here and start over. And it didn't take long, in New York before you had the real Americans and all that. You watch the movie Gangs of New York and see, it started almost right away.
Yeah.
The persecution started all over again. It's always going to be a battle. The word democracy has always raised eyebrows, fevers, tempers, and guns
Yeah.
since the beginning of time. The word democracy has always been a problem. And in order to find it, it takes work. Everybody thinks that democracy is free. Well, the soldiers overseas, God bless their souls. God bless all the veterans that have served either domestic or foreign, that stood up and did their time and fought for this country. Again, domestic or foreign, because even over here, you're still fighting for this country. You're still training. You're
Mm-hmm.
still on call for years and decades. And democracy is not free, but a lot of people take it as free.
Yeah.
A lot of people, again, that have been raised and don't see it. I come from a military family, and like I told you earlier, my brother is a paramedic here in Houston, and he's on the front lines. COVID, I was like, damn, my little brother's out there every day
Yeah.
in it. So, and a lot of our friends are firemen. I work for the fire department. I work a few law enforcement friends and everything else. And they're right there in the front lines. They had a huge percentage of HPD that had it.
Yeah.
At one point, they had a quarter of the force that was on quarantine.
Yeah.
And
And
they cannot be exposed. And a lot of people think that democracy is free. And we look at other countries and we roll our eyes. Oh, you look at Mexico or you look at Russia or you look at China and they do this and they steal babies and all that. But then we don't cherish what we do have.
yeah. Yeah. I remember I grew up in a military family too. And, if you ever wanted to piss my mama off, say that we got free health care. Shirley Pittman would nut up and tell in a heartbeat, my husband fought and earned everything we get. There ain't jack shit free.
Nothing is free.
Ooh, that woman would, ooh, she'd come unglued. And
But she's supposed
people
to.
enjoy that, and they just, like I say, they feel like it's free. And it ain't.
Yeah,
Not
they,
even
they do.
close.
History, the biggest problem with kids now, and even a lot of the youth, when I say youth, I'm like, we're the same age, 47, 48.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we were young, we were always taught to question. And questioning for us was a pain in the ass, to be honest.
Yeah.
Go to the library, go to the card catalog, go look in the encyclopedia. There's 99 volumes of encyclopedias and all that. Now, in this day and age, for the last decade, these kids have all the information in the world right in their hand in an iPhone.
Yeah.
And the trick is they created social media to keep them from using these phones to seek the truth, to question, to learn. So what we do is we distract you. We put you on Snapchat. We put you on Twitter. We put you on Instagram. We put you on Triller.
Mm-hmm.
Dance on here and act stupid. When COVID first hit, it was funny to me because all these people were like, man, we on lockdown. We on lockdown. I'm a convict. Your definition of lockdown and mine are two different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm used to a 6x9 dark, no commissary, no nothing, sit here.
Yeah.
So their definition of lockdown, they were mad because they could only go to the liquor store and pick up to-go food.
Yeah.
So you couldn't go to the club, still having house parties. So the first 2 weeks, it was a joke. Everybody was going to the popular restaurants, spending $40, $50 a plate. Everybody was at the liquor store. It was a see a shot, take a shot challenge. And everybody was drunk. So at 2 weeks, they extended the lockdown for a month. Then everybody shifted gears. Ooh, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, man, I need help with my rent. I don't know what I'm going to do. What happened with the see a shot, take a shot?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody took it serious because a lot of these people have never been in serious situations. They've been coddled most of their lives. They've always been saved. Always had somebody there to save them. So they've never been in serious situations. So they don't know how to take a situation serious.
Yeah.
They don't know how to deal with complex situations or tragedies or situations that require you to, quote unquote, sit your ass down somewhere for a minute,
Yeah.
pull
When
back for a minute.
when they first started talking about lockdowns here in Georgia, my daughter and my wife and my other daughter were going down to Augusta, where we're from, to get my youngest daughter's senior pictures made for the weekend. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
decided I was just going to stay up here because I was coming home from work and I was just tired. I said, I'm staying home. So I took my daughters down to where my wife works at so she didn't have to drive back up here and get them and come back. And on the way home, I stopped by a little grocery store right down the street from us. As I said, I'm just going to get a pack of hot dogs or something for supper. I walked in and got my pack of hot dogs. But these people were in there panic prepping.
Yeah,
And I was just in awe. I stood in that grocery store for an hour just watching people. I'm like, my God, these people are buying shit they would never buy normally. They're not going to eat
exactly.
this, but they're buying it because it's there. And I just shook
Exactly.
my head. I'm a prepper. I'm not the stupid prepper, the one that's got 5,000 guns for the government to come get me. Because if they want me, they're going to come get my ass.
Yeah.
I do it for things like snowstorms and this thing, and that kind of stuff. Just have food and
Mm-hmm.
things that we need. And just to watch these people just so unprepared. And I'm like, man, if this goes on, it's going to get bad.
And the panic thing is crazy to me. I was watching a TV show and they were talking about an increase in sales. So in Texas, they left the liquor stores open, pacify the crowds, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So liquor stores made a killing. Another show I was watching on, I forget what news station it was talking about gun sales and somebody went through the roof. So the killing part is that you had all these people that swore they would never own a gun, anti-gun, hate guns, ran
Mm-hmm.
out and bought guns, bought ammunition with no training,
Yeah.
do not know how to use these guns from a slingshot. And I went home and loaded them and put them in the dresser because they thought that we were going to get invaded or it was going to be a civil war. What
Yeah.
good is that weapon if you don't know how to use it?
Exactly. Exactly. And it
You're
tickles
going to
me.
shoot somebody in your house on accident
Yeah.
or shoot yourself.
It tickles me. It seems like every time something goes wrong or is going to be perceived to go wrong, everybody, there's a big gun scramble because everybody says they're going to take our guns. You know, do I believe in the Second Amendment? You damn skippy, I do. I own guns. But at the same time, I believe there ought to be a better background system. There ought to be a better system because there are people out there that don't need a damn gun.
Right.
But people get stupid when Obama got elected. Everybody was saying he's going to take our guns first thing, and I was actually at a gun
That's
show
what
in
I'm saying
Augusta.
now.
Yeah, oh, they're doing it now too, dude. It's ridiculous. But I was at a gun
It's
show in
ridiculous.
Augusta, and I had taken my AR-15 down there because I wanted to get some stuff for it and try to check it out. And I think I paid $900 for this thing, and a dealer paid me $3,000 for this rifle. Guess who
You
didn't come home
serious?
with their damn gun? Yeah,
You.
yeah. I
Well,
went home
unfortunately,
unarmed.
yeah. Unfortunately, due to my background, I'm not allowed to carry firearms.
Hmm.
But on the flip side, I do take self-defense training,
Yeah,
and I train mercifully to make sure that I can protect my family. Period.
yeah,
Come whatever. The system that I study is self-defense. It's not considered martial arts. It's not commercial. There's no, as far as tapping or am I training to tap? No, it's self-defense.
yeah,
It's literal self-defense. It is real world, real time. You need to get out of here, or you need to disable or finish
yep,
and get away. And there's a lot of people that you would never believe it. It's like a gun show in Texas. If you were to go, and you look at the demographic, it's huge.
yeah,
White people, black people, rich people, poor people, everybody's there. When you go to some of these classes that I go to, and you see who's fighting, it's a 55-year-old businessman. Some of these young ladies out here are taking it serious, and they can fight.
hmm, yeah.
Somebody gonna grab the wrong one and get what they don't want. They're gonna be on video somewhere getting beat to death.
Oh, dude, I'd rather be in amongst 50 pissed off male gangbangers than 2 mad women. Son, women will tear your ass up.
Man,
They
quick.
fight dirty.
Some of these girls can really fight and fight hard.
Yeah.
And that's just normal day to day. I'd hate to see that adrenaline running.
Oh, son,
Thinking
you ain't
somebody's
kidding.
trying to snatch them.
They be blood,
Boy.
hair, and nails everywhere.
Man, I'm talking about technical too. Highly technical. Been trained how to get out of everything.
Uh-huh.
You know, a lot of stuff. And I tell a lot of these women, man, y'all need to go take a self-defense class. You need to go take a self-defense class. And a real one. You know, not that nonsense. Like, I study at level 6 here in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they teach you how to break out of zip ties, duct tape, everything.
Yeah, and I like that because that's what's needed. That's what's going to happen. You know,
Yeah.
I took Taekwondo as a kid.
They teach you how to break choke, you know, and from every direction. So, like, even with me, with some of the ladies, they always, you know, I'm a bigger guy. I'm 285.
Mm-hmm.
So, inevitably, after we work chokes, come over here and choke this lady. Man, I don't want to choke that little lady, man. Don't choke this lady and choke it for real. So you know what it really feels like. She can break it.
Uh-huh.
So I got to choke every woman in the class, right? I'm like, Lord have mercy. It's a choke fest.
Like Bernie Mac used to say, everybody ought to choke at least once.
Everybody ought to choke at least once, man. But you know, like my coach says, like, you're helping them.
Yeah.
They need somebody big to choke them, and they need to be choked for real. So if it happens in the world, they don't panic.
Yeah, they need to know that fear now instead of later. Be able to use it.
And I tell you what, boy, I'd hate to be on the other end of it if it was real, because that nut shot's coming.
Mm-hmm. Every time.
It's coming.
People say, "Oh, that's a cheap shot."
Bad.
I could give a damn if it's a cheap shot. If it's going to keep
me
from getting killed, you getting flat nuts.
Hey, I was training with one of my coaches, and he slammed me, and he tried to arm bar me, and I locked up, and he was like, "Man, that's okay. Let me show him the bicep breaker," and I bit him. He said, "Motherfucker, did you bite me?" I said, "Hell yeah, I bit you." He jumped off of me like, "Did you bite me?" I'm like, "Yep."
It worked.
We train self-defense. There's no rules in self-defense. Everybody in the class busted out laughing. I said, "You got off me, didn't you?"
That's it. That's it, man. Like I said, I did Taekwondo when I was young, and every fight I've ever been in, I ain't never done a jump kick in my life.
Yeah, I did Taekwondo too. That was popular when we were young.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Karate Kid sold a lot of lessons.
Break a bunch of boards.
Yeah. I've never had anybody come at me with a pine 1x6 before.
Ever. It's crazy when you look back.
Yeah.
When's the last time you yelled Kia?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
man.
buddy.
But I had a good time doing it. But looking back,
man,
I'm like,
you know
what the hell?
Discipline.
Yeah.
That taught us discipline, though. Getting here on time. It made you mind, as far as your mind sharp, because you had to go in, you had to learn these forms. And even when you were sparring, you had to know, you can't kick here, you can't kick there, you get your points. It taught us discipline. Same as sports. This is just another sport.
Yeah.
But it taught us discipline. And the discipline is what's lacking with a lot of people. Not just kids now, a lot of young adults.
Yeah.
Even a lot of adults now, they're not used to consequences. When we were young, if you got a line with somebody hit you in your mouth, it was an immediate result.
Yeah.
Now, there's so many people that hide behind law enforcement, there's no consequences or repercussions when you're disrespectful.
Yeah.
And it gets out of line because you feel like, I can do whatever I want to do. Nobody can touch me because I'll call the police.
Yeah.
And that's a fraud sense of thought. Why would you be rude, cruel, and nasty and then hide behind law enforcement or hide behind the managers in the building or the manager of the club or the managers at work? Well, they'll lose their job if they retaliate.
Yeah.
That's just being foul. That's nasty. That's being a coward, really.
Yeah.
When you get down to it.
Yeah. And, I've took more than one whooping and I've issued more than one, but, when it was over, it was over. And folks are scared of that now.
You have to earn your respect.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to agree to disagree, and you have to step in a different arena and earn your respect.
Yeah.
I've boxed with dudes, man. Knocked down, drag out, and wouldn't have a drink when we got done.
Yeah. I mean, when it's done, it's done. If I lost, I still got respect because I got in there and fought.
Exactly. But a lot of these kids are scared to fight.
Yeah.
Even in the underworld right now, there's an undercurrent of, the new generation has no code. They have no honor. They have no loyalty.
Yeah.
So all they do is snitch on each other. Why are you out here? So on one hand, you want to be a gangster. a thug, whatever you want to label it. And on the other hand, as soon as they look at you, you snitch.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you out? You shouldn't be out here. This is not what that world was built on.
Yeah.
You know, in every culture since the beginning of time, there was the underworld.
Yeah.
There's always been those people that live on the other side of the law. Not to glorify, not to justify it. It just is what it is. That's just a part of society.
Yeah.
But never has it been so honorless or so sideways as it is now. And I'm glad, I'm the age I am. I'm glad I'm retired because I look at it and I'm just disgusted.
Yeah.
Never in my life when I got knocked, what I think about doing the things that these kids do.
Yeah.
And then go online and talk about it. Wow. That was
Yeah.
the worst thing you could be when I grew up was a snitch.
Take pictures of it and post videos and stuff. It's like, really?
Oh my God, they tell on themselves.
Yeah.
I watch some of these dudes like, bro, you are on probation. You're on parole. And you got 20 pounds of weed, assault license on your page, in your story.
Yeah.
Not knowing that even here, HPD has a whole department, and all they do is go through and check social media.
Yep.
So it could be a probation officer, a parole officer, it could be a detective if you're under investigation, and they'll just put you on this list and they watch your social media. And then they download and record everything that you post that's pertinent.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-trial, when you go to pre-trial down here, the first thing they do is look for your social media. When they go through and they ask you, what's your email address and all that, they search that email address in all social media platforms. Then they go through and they look to see what's on there.
Mm-hmm.
Had a guy that was on probation doing semi what he was supposed to do, nutted up, went to Vegas. Hell, they were waiting for him when he got home because he was posted. I'm about to catch my flight home. Okay, cool. They called him at the airport when he got off the plane.
Oh, man.
Extra stupid with a side of stupid.
Oh, man.
Like, what are you doing, bro? You already know your situation. But it's, again, everybody wants to be flamboyant. Everybody wants to live this life that really doesn't exist. Want to act like they have money.
Yep.
Want to stunt, so to speak, to be online. But see, this is the generation. This is the generation dysfunction. I always hustle to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the things I like. I like motorcycles. I like rough dogs and pretty women. I tell them bikes, bulldogs, and excuse my language, the 3 Bs. Bikes, bulldogs, and bad bitches. And I'm good. I'm simple. I don't have to be out in public. I don't have to have a million people watching me because I grew up in an era where if everybody was watching you, they either wanted to rob you or they were the police. And neither one of those was good.
Yep. And by the way, I seen a picture of your dog on your page. Nice
yes,
dog.
Yes, sir. Yes, he is. That guy, I lost that guy in July. He had a heat stroke. I was working out, and it was the second time he had one. Mm-hmm. God bless his soul. He's running in heaven right now. He was my service dog. I have another puppy in training right now. Mm-hmm. But that guy was a real breed ambassador. Yeah. That pit bull went to the rodeo and set over the bull shoot and watched the bulls. Car shows, bike shows, dog shows, black expos, charity events. He went everywhere with it.
Oh, man.
I have a picture of him, the chief of police out here at a sickle cell event, was giving a speech, got off the podium, we were outdoors, walked through some water, straight to my dog, and jumped on his knees and started baby talking.
Nice.
Scared me to death. I said, he didn't say, hey, can I pet your dog? Hey, does he bite? He jumped on his knees and he started baby talking. And in my mind, I was like, oh, my God, please, because I'm going to give him a command and he'll, go let you pet him and everything. And then when I recall him, he comes back. My dog have immaculate obedience training.
Oh.
And he sat there and gave the chief of police his stomach, and the chief of police forgot where he was. I guess he just sat there and baby talked for 5 minutes. It was hilarious.
That's awesome.
I keep these dogs. People say, why would you get that as a service dog? I said, I'm a convict, so I have an X on my back, so I can't get a lease. Most places don't want to hire me, and I'm kind of expected to dig ditches the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. Because this thing follows me, no matter how many years ago. I caught my last case I caught was 2001. Mm-hmm. So here we are 19 years later, and this thing is going to drag me to my grave. Yeah. And that's fine. I've learned to work with it, work around it. I just have to work harder to get over it. But I keep those dogs because the common idea is that these dogs are going to kill their owner. They're going to go crazy. They bite everybody. And I've had this dog out at least 200 times and never had an incident. Never had an issue, never had a problem. And people, oh, I hate pit bulls. I've had people get up and leave restaurants. I'm scared of pit bulls. Why is he in here? You can't have him in here. He's a service dog. He's
Yeah.
where he's supposed to be, laying at my feet. Hasn't made a sound. You're the one that's being disruptive right now. He hadn't moved.
Mm-hmm.
Even with you screaming and hollering and bunny hopping around going crazy.
Gotta
So
love
he
people.
kind of breaks that mentality that, oh, these dogs are, it's bad breeders out there that are just breeding for money, that breed unstable dogs. There's bad owners,
Yeah.
That don't teach their dogs anything. Dogs are like kids. They do what you teach them to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And, with pit bulls, there's some that I like and there's some that I just can't stand. And, I mean, hell, that's with anything. Like I say, most of the time, it's bad owners.
Bad owners, and there's some bad breeders. A lot of
Yeah.
people discount the bad breeders, the fact that breeding is a genetic function. You have to study the craft in order to breed correctly. It's not just I bought 2 dogs at Fiesta and bred them because I wanted some money.
Mm-hmm.
Where did they come from? What's the genetics behind the dog? People, the big debate is, well, my dog don't have papers, but it don't matter. It does matter because papers is a genetic map as to where the dog came from.
Mm-hmm.
What's behind it? What is it bred to do? My favorite thing, people come to me because I'm a dog fancier. My parents bred championship Dobermans in the 70s. My mom had pictures of me in the baby carriage when she was in the dog show ring running around showing dogs. I was like 4 or 5. Our female had 13 puppies. So I spent 2 weeks in a lawn chair in the birthing room with my mom, bottle feeding puppies and switching puppies out. So I grew up in this.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand, like, you have to know what you're buying. Number one, people buy dogs that they can't handle or they don't have the time for. I have another pup right now that's 12 weeks old. And he's very demanding because all his meals come by hand during his training.
Mm-hmm.
He's from a very reputable trainer, handler, breeder who has one of the most titled pit bulls in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his father. But he's high maintenance. He's very on the go because I'm very on the go. I have to have a dog that can match my energy.
Yeah.
I'm always on the run. I'm always on the go. So in order for my dogs to keep up with me, and I take my dogs everywhere, people know if he's here, he's probably got one of his dogs with him.
Yeah.
They're always with me. So people buy dogs that don't match their lifestyle. They buy dogs that they don't have time for. Or they go out and buy dogs that are just bred shitty.
Mm-hmm.
And then wonder why the dog's done. Well, probably because he's 12 generations inbred. But you didn't take the time to find out.
Mm-hmm.
He was cute.
Yeah.
But he's cute. Yeah. He's a time bomb.
Yeah. Cute don't work. Cute
Yeah.
don't
Look
work.
at the dad. Yeah, the dad was kind of weird. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have bought the son then. Define kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, Darius, man, I tell you, I've had a ball with you on here today. You're welcome on here anytime. You got this number. All you got to do is call and say, yo, fat boy, let's talk.
Hey, I definitely will. And when I come out that way to Georgia, we're definitely going to hook up.
Oh, yeah, man, 'cause the name of this show is Smoked Meat, so I cook.
Hey, man,
No.
I love to eat.
Oh,
I
man.
work out 4 or 5 days a week just because I'm a big guy. I got that genetic code that says I'm going to be big and swollen, big and fat.
Mm.
And I love to eat, so that means I got to hit it.
Oh, yeah. Man, I will hook you up. All you got to do is holler. I'm 20 miles south of Atlanta. Psh, we got
I'll be
this.
out that way. My publicist, one of my publicists is out that way, and I was supposed to be out there for the Save the Youth tour, and they canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they'll run it back in the spring, but I'll be out that way either way. I have a lot of connections out that way that have been showing me a lot of love on the book. When I come out that way, I'll definitely come through. Hopefully the other man will be far enough in his training to be traveling.
Oh, that'll be awesome. I'll make sure he got a good old bone, too.
That's all he needs, because all he is right now is feet and ears.
Yep. That's
That
his
boy is
job at
growing
this
like a
age.
weed. Oh my God, he looks like the White Walker off of Star Wars, the Imperial Walker.
Uh-huh.
That's what he looks like right now. It's just feet and head.
Nice. Nice.